How often do you find yourself just reacting to your day, dealing with the things that are flying at you, but not really making the impact that you're striving for? What if I told you that you could shift from reactive manager to proactive leader in less than 10 minutes a day? I'm Laura Miner, a board-certified leadership coach, and this channel exists for one reason: to help you lead yourself more effectively so you can get the results you're after. And in this video, we're going to walk through 3 powerful research-backed exercises to instantly boost your self-awareness so you can take back control of your day, you can increase your impact, and elevate your leadership and life. If you're wondering if self-awareness is really that important, let me tell you point blank, it absolutely is. In fact, it keeps talented people from becoming the types of leaders they know they're meant to be. And as a leadership coach, I see this all the time. High performers that have all the ambition and skill in the world, but they're missing the one thing that unlocks the next level: self-awareness. And if you're thinking that self-awareness sounds like a soft skill, you should know that the data tells a much different story. So Korn Ferry, the organizational consulting firm, they studied the link between the financial performance of companies and the self-awareness of the employees within those companies. And they found that employees working for financially struggling companies were 79% more likely to have low overall self-awareness versus those employees in the high-performing firms. You see, it turns out that self-awareness gap isn't just a blind spot. It is a full-blown barrier to success. Self-awareness is foundational to leading yourself well. It's the ability to see yourself clearly. And this includes your emotions, your go-to behaviors, and what it is that you really value at your core. When you develop self-awareness and you gain that clarity, you stop reacting to your own impulses and start making conscious choices that align with your biggest goals. You begin to build what I call the inner leader, that calm, centered, decisive part of you that navigates complexity with grace. This inner mastery is what multiplies your outer impact. It shapes how you make decisions, how you adapt to change, and how you authentically influence others. Now, before we get to the exercises, there's one thing that I want to mention. These exercises can be a truly strategic upgrade to your professional toolkit. Why? Because self-awareness is often the difference between average and exceptional. People with high self-awareness are proven to be more effective and they're better decision makers. They're also better equipped to handle stress, navigate conflict, and communicate in ways that build trust. They've also been shown to be better overall leaders. And whether you are leading yourself or leading others, you are still leading, and your self-awareness matters. But we're all busy professionals, right? And we need practicable tools that are efficient and deliver quick results. And all 3 of the exercises that we're about to get into fit that bill. Each one takes about 3 minutes. So in less than 10 minutes a day, you will be able to cultivate self-awareness and take your brain from reactive to proactive. So let's get into it. Exercise number 1, the emotional self-awareness tracker. This is designed to help you understand and manage your emotional triggers. And we're starting with this one because unmanaged emotions are the number 1 hijacker of effective leadership. When you react out of frustration or anxiety or exhaustion, you're not leading, you're just reacting. But this 3-minute exercise helps you go from being driven by these emotions to being informed by them. Here's how it works. At some point during your day, set a timer for 3 minutes. This can be when you have a little break between tasks, or it can be really helpful when you notice yourself actually having a reaction to something that's just gone on. So the first step is to name the strongest feeling or emotion that you're currently experiencing. And don't be generic. Don't say something like stressed as an example. Get really specific. Is it disappointment that you're feeling? Apprehension? Frustration? Research shows that just by naming the feeling, you can reduce its intensity. So write that feeling or emotion down. Second, pinpoint the trigger. What specific event or thought caused this feeling? Did you receive a critical email? Maybe you got an unsolicited comment. Was it the pressure of a looming deadline? Again, I want you to be really precise here. As a personal example, I dealt with frustration this morning over someone who rescheduled an important meeting at the last minute for the second time in a row. So be specific and then write it down. Third, I want you to notice your response. How did the emotion show up in your body as well as your behavior? Did your shoulders tense up? Did your breathing start to race? Did you respond in a terse way? And to be clear, this is not about judging yourself for your reaction, so don't form an opinion around your response. The only goal here is to gather insights that you can use as data. And then finally, and this step is critical, ask yourself, how did your response align with your values? If one of your core values is fostering connection, as an example, but your frustration led you to respond in a way that wasn't supportive of the relationship, then you've just found a gap between your values and your actions. And these types of insights are really powerful. This is what self-awareness is all about. Being able to see the decisions you made and understand why you made them. And the more you build this self-awareness muscle, the more equipped you are to choose a different response next time. So that is exercise number 1. The second exercise is the behavioral reflection scan, and it helps close the gap between your present self and your ideal self by ensuring that your actions align with your intentions. Because it's really easy to have a grand vision for your leadership, but if your actions and your intentions aren't aligned, it will significantly erode your impact. Thankfully, this 3-minute scan is all it takes to get and stay on track. So here's the process. After an important event or interaction, so maybe it's a meeting or a presentation or a tough negotiation, I want you to take a 3-minute pause to evaluate any gaps between your actions and your intentions. And be brutally honest here. Did you interrupt someone? Did you maybe multitask while someone was sharing something important with you? Did you delegate without slowing down enough to give clear instructions? Then ask yourself why. But don't let yourself off the hook with a surface level excuse. This exercise is about digging deep so that you can mine for that insight and awareness. So maybe your first reason is that you were in a hurry. Okay. But why were you in a hurry? Were you feeling overwhelmed? Were you trying to assert control? In other words, what was below the behavior? That is the insight that you're aiming for here. And once you've peeled back enough layers to see it, ask yourself how that action either served or set back your ideal self. You see, identifying the gap between how we ideally want to show up and how we actually show up is really empowering. It's a level of self-awareness that helps us be more accountable to who we are at our best. And it also gives us actionable insight to work with so that we can identify one micro adjustment for the next time. It doesn't have to be anything huge, just something small that will reinforce the link between your awareness and your actions. By the way, if you're finding this type of coach-led support to be helpful, would you do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button? It lets me know that there are people who benefit from my efforts, and it motivates me to keep showing up every week. Okay, our third and final exercise is a powerful mindfulness technique that is proven to keep you calm and focused under pressure. It is so effective that high performers from Navy SEALs to top executives, they all use it regularly. It's called box breathing, and it's used to ground yourself in the present moment. It really empowers you to quiet the mental chatter while sharpening the clarity that you need for visionary thinking. And let's be honest, the ability to command your focus in our distracted world is a serious strategic advantage. The practice is beautifully simple, and it only takes 3 minutes. So you're gonna start by inhaling slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Then gently hold your breath for a count of 4. No tension, just a calm pause. Next, exhale slowly through your mouth for another count of 4. Then hold your breath at the bottom for your last count of 4. That is your first box cycle. Then do this 3 more times for 4 cycles total. Your mind might wander, and that's totally fine, but try and notice when it does drift and then gently guide it back to your breath. As you do this, you are activating your parasympathetic nervous system, which tells your body it's time to relax. And what is really cool, what I love about this practice, is that the benefits are both immediate and long-term. In the moment, it calms your nervous system so you can emerge with a clearer mind. And over time, it builds your capacity for focus and self-regulation, which are skills that are absolutely critical for leading with impact. Remember, with all 3 of these exercises, you don't need more hours in your day. You just need more awareness in your minutes. And these exercises bring that awareness. And once you've increased your self-awareness, you will learn what so many high performers already know. Self-awareness is the skill that makes every other leadership skill more effective, whether you are leading yourself or leading others. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, commit to this 10-minute daily practice. Weave these 3 exercises into your day and just notice what changes for you. You just might be surprised by the results. By the way, since you stayed to the end, I have a feeling you might like my newsletter as well. It's filled with practical, actionable insights and strategies to help you fuel your success with the science of self-leadership. I'll include a link to it in the description box below, and with that, I will see you in your inbox soon.